Dragonwagon, and I'm author of the Cornbread Gospels, which, here's how it looks in paper, but you, darlings, get to have it at a super cheapo price on Workman's Blue Plate Special this month. It's the Cornbread Gospels with an S, because there are many, many different types of cornbread, and whichever way you grew up with is the way that you think God meant cornbread to be. And this is a little introduction by way of 3 different cornbreads. We're going to have a video one week about Southern cornbread, which is probably my very favorite, African American cornbread, which is kind of a runner-up for my very favorite, and Yankee cornbread. I am Yankee born, but Southern bred. I grew up in the South, so I have some connection to all 3 of those. 3 because there was a great migration of American black people from south to north, and they kind of combined some of the best features of Southern and Northern cornbread. So we're going to find out in these 3 separate videos, plus this introduction, about what those differences are. Now, in 2 of the 3 videos that we're going to have, I'm going to sing for you some cornbread-related songs. And one was written by me, one by my friend Bill Hames. And they are related to Southern and Northern cornbread, specifically. And I don't have a particularly good voice, but I'm not in the least self-conscious about it. So lean back. We'll go into the kitchen to actually sing and make some cornbreads. Then get into your own kitchen, get your books, start cooking cornbread. Your life will change in a small but significant and delicious way. And you will be invited back to every party that you ever offer to bring the cornbread to. Thanks! See you in the kitchen! My friend Bill Hames wrote a song when the Cornbread Gospels came out in paperback, now available as an ebook, called The Gospel of Cornbread. I'm just going to sing you one verse. And he sang it from the point of view of a Yankee considering Southern cornbread. Well, you think it's mostly something that they eat in the South. You think it might be fried. You don't remember the last time a piece was in your mouth. You think it might be genetically modified. But your grandmother made it and you liked it then. You ate it in the kitchen with your favorite aunt. I'm telling you people, now get with the trend, 'cause cornbread is the new croissant. Cornbread, married to the bean. Cornbread, the skillet queen. Cornbread, tempting and hot. The gospel of cornbread is what we've got. Okay, we're going to make a Yankee-style cornbread here. And if you look in this bowl, you'll see that I already have sifted in unbleached white flour and cornmeal, stone ground, a cup of each. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt. Now you noticed in the Truman Capote Southern, we used baking soda. That's because the liquid that we used in the Southern one was buttermilk. We're using sweet milk in the corn in the Yankee one. And our liquid ingredients are 2 eggs, slightly beaten, 2/3 of a cup of milk, and because this is Vermont cornbread, we are adding 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup as the sweetener. And this maple syrup was tapped from trees by my neighbor, Tommy Burns, and I sometimes check his sap tank in the winter when it's too muddy for him to make it up the road. So there's our liquid ingredients all together. Our egg, milk, maple syrup, and we're going to add some melted butter. Now, Southerners do not sweeten their cornbread. As my friend Ronnie Lundy said, if God had meant for cornbread to have sugar, for that matter, maple syrup in it, he would have called it cake. Sounds like Mark Twain said it, but Ronnie Lundy said it. So here we are, we're mixing together those wet and dry ingredients. The cornmeal, the flour, the leavening, the baking powder that was, the maple syrup, the milk, the egg, and you do not want to overbeat this or you will end up with a tough cornbread, and tender is what you want. Now the thing that, and it's a really, this maple cornbread is a really delicious sweet cornbread, and this is the kind of cornbread I grew up on. If you saw the previous one, you'll know that one of the amazing things about Southern and African American cornbread is that we pour the batter into a hot, fat-lined, sizzling skillet, and that gives it an amazing outside crust. Yankee cornbread, you put it into a cold pan. You get a very good cornbread, but you don't get that remarkable crust. So here it is, it's mixed. As you can see, there's no visible lumps of flour as such, but it is not a smooth batter. Don't whisk it. Don't use a beater. It goes together very fast. This is a greased pan. We pour it in. And here is our Yankee-style Vermont sweetened cornbread, ready to go into the oven. So here it is, all done, and obviously not a hot pan. You can see I'm holding it with my little unprotected paws. And I'm going to turn and slide it into the oven. And in 20 minutes or so, we'll have wonderful Vermont Yankee sweetened cornbread. As you can see, very fast to put together. Enjoy it. Deliciousness. Happy loving cornbread and baking and kitchens and warmth and sustenance. Bye. So, okay gang, the moment we've been waiting for, our Vermont maple sweetened Yankee cornbread is going to come dancing out of the oven. And here it is. And if you were here, you could smell the wonderful maple smell that it has. And so this is our Yankee style cornbread, and I'm going to set it down here and we'll examine it more closely later. Thank you. Happy eating, happy cooking, cornbread, love, peace, all those things together, and throw in some beans on the side. Bye.